Hi, this is David again, and I wanted to do this video on what not anybody else, I have no agenda here other than tell you my experience in the Mormon Church. I'm not extrapolating it across millions and billions of people. I'm telling you what I experienced in the Mormon Church. And with my education and my background, this is the most hideous, vicious, mean, cruel thing that this cult does. And you'll have to sit through this for 10 or 15 seconds or minutes here to hear what it is. But let me start by saying this. I have 14 children. That's no secret. That's no common sense either. That was a cult idea, and I just followed it. It was a dirty job, but somebody had to do it. I want to give you some examples. My oldest son, Adam, when he came home from school in fifth grade or kindergarten, 5 years old, he had a note that said he had hearing loss in his right ear. And I took him to a Provo doctor. That was the first thing I did wrong. And the doctor looked in and charged me $100 to say, gee, I don't know what that is. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. That's what I said, and I didn't have the ability to charge anybody. Well, I didn't stay satisfied with that, and a week later I searched out a ear specialist. It happened to be up at the University of Utah, one of the most renowned. There was 3 or 4 of them in the world. And I took Adam up there in my car. Jesus didn't show up. Jesus didn't pay for the gas, and Jesus didn't find the surgeon. I did. And the surgeon looked in his ear and said, you know, I've only seen 3 of these in my entire career, but what that is a brain tumor that is broken over into and spilling down the ear canal. And I said, gee, that doesn't sound like a good situation. And he says, no, he'll be dead in about 4 or 5 weeks. I said, oh, just before I take him back to the Provo doctor. So, long story short, you know, we had to sit by Adam, and I'm saying mother and dad, it's not just dad, having his surgery, and came home, his head was all swollen up on the side, and we saved his life. Not Jesus, no blessings, just mom and dad and the skills of that outstanding surgeon. Later on, the same child decided that, oh, he's probably 16, and he decided it was a good idea to have a 45 Magnum pistol in the backyard of our Lenox, Massachusetts home. And you know, the New Englanders, they didn't think it was funny that he was firing into a tree, into a backyard that was just within feet of their children and their house. Well, Jesus didn't stop him from shooting. I did. When he got picked up by the police, Jesus was never there to defend him. Never showed up. This is his son. I showed up. And they wanted to put him in jail. I told him he was a little bipolar. And maybe cut him a little slack. I'm going to adjust this, but anyway, he decided that I should defend him, which I did, and he also decided that he didn't go to jail. Not because Jesus was his defense attorney, it was because I was his defense attorney, and the judge felt sorry for me having a kid like that, I think. And he didn't go to jail. That kid also, I got a call at 2 o'clock in the morning, not from Jesus. I got it from the Lenox Police Department and said, your son has decided that it was a good idea to drive 90 miles an hour in a residential area. I said, yeah, that sounds like my son and some of the judgment he has. They said, yeah, but he wasn't a very good driver. He hit a telephone pole and he cut the pole in half that he owes $4,000 or $5,000 to replace. And he cut his car in half, and your other son was in the other half of the car. So I went down. And Jesus didn't take me. Jesus didn't pay for the gas money. I did. And I went down and found the 2 boys, and they took them, Adam, to the hospital. And the doctor said, well, gee, he has just abrasions. I think I should let him go. And I said, no, he's bipolar. and he's manic, and he could be very dangerous. Lock him up overnight. He said, well, do you want him locked down or you want him in an open unit? I said, well, let's lock him down. I'm just afraid of suicide and some possibilities that bipolar people do. Next day, the doctor calls me and said, you were right. He did jump out the third story window. Our screens in that lockdown unit got him, and we dragged him back in the building. Jesus didn't grab him. The screens did. Jesus didn't make the decision to lock him down. I did. And, when I got the bill for that, I sent it to Jesus, and it went to a collection agency. He didn't pay it either. I've seen all the birth of my children. And Aaron, he's now 26. He's autistic. He's got a IQ of 52. And I fought for almost 20 years the school district in Ojai, California, to educate him, to teach him to read, train, and take care of himself, go to the bathroom, feed himself, and be semi-independent. And today he does live semi-independent. That cost the Ojai School District $1 million, and me 3 or 4 lawsuits to make them give him the education I thought was appropriate. And, Jesus didn't write me a check at all for reimbursement on any of that. I just kind of had to pay for that out of my own pocket, if you know what I mean. So I spent 18 years taking care of an autistic child, training him, teaching him, protecting him, keeping him from getting beat up, and etc. Having a terrible life. Then my daughter Rachel, pretty little gal that she's one of my girls that has her own mind, and that's okay. She was swimming in California, and she broke her 2 front teeth out, and she must have been 10 or 11. And we had 14 kids. I mean, they didn't all live in the house at the same time, but we didn't have a lot of money because we were giving 10% of our money to the Mormon church. But Jesus showed up that time, and he wrote me a check. I think it was $2,000 or $3,000 to have her teeth put back in her mouth so that she wouldn't be humiliated and embarrassed. And when I went to thank him, I couldn't find him. He left a little note that says, I went where the gold plates went. I'm hidden. So he left me a bill to be reimbursed on. So Dad took care of that. And Rachel also was a child that didn't want to stay in our house because she's rebellious. She's a rebellious child. And I told her, you can leave if you want. She did. She said, I'm going to go live with Al Lundgren. I'm not afraid to use these names because the truth is a defense for libel. These are true stories. Take them to the judge. See what the jury says. They're true. So she lives with Al. And Al said, oh, your dad is a terrible person. Oh, he's a terrible father. I'm an attorney, and I'm telling you I can save you, little girl. Well, he talked Rachel into going up to transcription school up north in California. And I said to her when she asked, I said, I don't think it's a good idea. I said, I really think a general education at BYU is going to be more useful over a lifetime. Well, she believed Al, and she went up there rather than took my advice. Well, the school she went to went bankrupt before she graduated. She never became a transcriber for court, transcription. And she has continued to try to pass the test for the last 12, 13 years. And she's flunked it every time. Hundreds and thousands of dollars, and she's flunked it every time. Finally, she went back to BYU, and she almost graduated from BYU. But of course, Dad didn't know anything. And of course, Dad brought her in and brought her back and helped her and took care of her and whatever after she decided to run away. So Dad and Mom were both there, obviously. Steve. Oh, my son Steve. What can I say about Steve? Steve the drug addict. That's what I can say about Steve. He, in 11th grade, wasn't going to graduate from high school. I went down and I got a psychiatrist that diagnosed him as oppositional defiant disorder, tried to get him medications. He wouldn't take it. We designed a trade program for him for 12th grade, so he'd get a high school education. He wouldn't go, and he didn't graduate. He did get a GED later on. But he was smoking marijuana in our house all the time. I don't know if he was doing a crack or anything else, but I could smell the pot coming down from upstairs in New England house. And I told him, I said, Steve, you can't do that here. I have a bunch of kids and a wife, and if the police show up, they're going to grab everybody. They don't care. They smell it, they see it, they don't know who's selling it, smoking it. You have to, oh, I have to move out? I said, well, that or smoke it outside or something. Oh, I was a terrible father. He's never forgiven me. Never, never. Then this police department calls me again and says, David, you know, Steve's walking outside in the middle of winter here in Massachusetts with no shoes on. What do you want us to do? I said, well, if you try to help the kid, he'll hate you. Just let him do what he wants to do. So he slept in cars and flats of hangout places of other drug addicts, and then he got picked up for nearly running over a horse. Well, that's a pretty bad crime, but the horse had a person on it. They don't like that in Massachusetts. They don't want people on a horse and my kid running them over. So Jesus didn't go to court. Jesus, the Mormon church, the prophet, none of them showed up. I don't know why. I showed up. Kept him out of jail on that one. Defended him. And he doesn't have a criminal record from that. But he hates me because I sent him to the most expensive and reliable drug treatment, residential treatment center in the world, in Vermont, upper state New Vermont there. And they put him in a straitjacket. I never did that. I wanted to. I asked him, gee, could I borrow a straitjacket? Maybe I could handle the kid. And threw him in a padded room. And 2 days later, he escaped, ran away, ran through the community. And I don't guess Jesus could find him. I had to go up to Vermont and look for him. And he's hitchhiking all over with weird people and doing drugs and getting closer and closer to being killed because of the drug scene that he was involved in. Steve also was my kid that ran through the patio door in Newbury Park, California, full speed. He's probably 9 years old. And gee, you know, Jesus didn't stop him. Jesus just let him run right through the door. And when I heard the crash and the noise and the child screaming, I didn't see Jesus anywhere. I picked him up. I put him in the car. Got blood all over my car. I took him to the hospital. I had a plastic surgeon fix him, sew him all back together. And this child still hates me. This child still hates me. And I can see why. I can see why. Maybe you can too. My littlest one, my Dan, he was walking on the beach in Santa Barbara once with us, stepped on a pop bottle, cut his leg or his foot wide open. I took him up to the Santa Barbara hospital. Jesus didn't. And when I got the bill, I tried to forward it to the Jesus address there in Kolob, but you know, I got a return receipt rejected. They had no way to deliver it. They said there's no such address. The Mormons don't believe that, but that's what I found. Dan also got hurt in our backyard. He got cut his lip all the way across here, and it was hanging down with a little piece of skin on it. I found him. Jesus didn't. And I took him to the hospital. Jesus didn't loan me a car or buy gas. And when I got there, I asked, is Jesus here? Is he a plastic surgeon? And they go, no. I said, okay, then why don't you do it as a plastic surgeon, and I'll charge Jesus. And I did, and he didn't pay again. Really kind of a absent father. I got the bill, I had to pay it, and that little boy has been cared for ever since. Now, I could go on and on here. Monica's braces, $3,000. Amy going into seminary, a 5-year seminary student, not four. I got her into BYU as a 5-year seminary student. Figure that one out. Rebecca, alternative school and graduation. Okay, we're at the end of this particular production, and here is the thing I want to say. I was good enough. I was good enough to protect, love, respect, work 2 jobs day and night, take care of them sickness and health. And yet, the 10 minutes of the most important 10 minutes of their life and my life, their marriage, the Mormon church says, Dad can't go, Mom can't go, they didn't pay us enough tithing money, they're unworthy, and the children have been taught to love the religion more than the parents, and the parents are banned from watching their children married. Now, if you are a parent and you can find one thing more cruel, more mean, and more hideous than that, I'd like to have a response. Please let me know. I can't find anything. Thanks.